Gentlemen, race number 6 on the card. A nice open handicap over the 1400 Triton Pacific Owens Plate, Steve. And look, I can see the re-emergence of a absolute top quality mare here, but she's not favourite.
No, she's not. I think there's a little bit to play out in this marketplace. Funtonic, no jockey allocated at present when it comes to this race, Thad, but he's a dual accept. He's in an earlier race, a 74 rated race, so money indicating he may be running in an undercard rather than the feature here. But 380 out of turn to $4. Two illicit, $5.50, and that second line with Naval Fleet, who's bouncing between $5 and $5.50. Summer Passage, $7.50. Montvito, $8. New York Jazz, $8.50. Raposa Repeater bouncing between $8.50 and $9. Double figures around Lily Dior. Well played in that middle market. So there's a slight lead around on the fresh side for Catherine Cameron. Manrico 21 on the rocks at $26. Doesn't like a dark cloud. So no strong lead here. Again, just stifled in betting, and with the unknown quantity around number 8 Funtonic, which way he'll go.
Yeah, okay. It would be a 20% deduction as it stands if Funtonic came out of this market, BP, but regardless of whether Funtonic's running or not, there's quite a few each way options you could go with in the 6 on the card.
Gee, this is a difficult race, isn't it? For a number of reasons, what's running, what's not running, and just overall the race itself. I found this incredibly hard. I keep looking at Summer Passage and thinking, how close is he to the mark of finding his best form again? Because if he does find it, this is the right race, isn't it? You go back a couple of starts ago, he only just missed getting the job done when beaten by More Wonder. And he was, a horse who didn't get the favours next time out at Otaki. Now, the track conditions, he's had one start on a heavy track. He actually ran second on a heavy track in a Group 1 size produce stakes at Randwick. Now, of course, it was following his Group 1 win as a 2-year-old. So he does have form on wet ground, but he just hasn't seen it since then. So you can leverage off that. The thing is, you're leveraging off past form. It was 5 years ago when that happened. So that's the only thing you have to work with there. But on recent runs, look, you could entertain having something on him at that $7.58, but certainly couldn't have a confident look at him at the same time. Then you got Montvito, who's a swimmer. But just how ready is he to go? Now, he's a horse that we'll be talking a lot about through the winter months, because he'll be in races like the Kiwi Fruit Cup, which he's been placed in last year, and all those type of races leading up to those type of events. It's always a trick, isn't it, when you see horses like Montvito and those type of horses, wet form, first up, but you just don't know what to do with them, because how ready are they? Are they horses that need miles on the clock? Do they need 2 or 3 runs before they can get going? Or are they a type of horse that can be ready to go through testing conditions first up? So again, there's more of a quandary for you. So hence why I just keep putting my hands up around the race, and even with the class act of 2 illicit in the race.
Yeah, well, let's talk about 2 illicit, Steve. I'm not saying what she's doing, but she's got 62.5. What are your thoughts around 2 illicit in this race?
Well, earlier in the week when I was framing the market, Thaddeus, I wanted to take a decent set against her. We were pricing it when it was a genuine heavy 11, and look, it's still a heavy 10 here. If it stays at probably a heavy 10, she doesn't start. I don't think Roger would muck around with her. But again, it's trying to get her fit to some Group 1 events later on this autumn. But the more I look at this race, it's basically a glorified rating 85, and she may be just still too good with 62 kegs on her back. I know it's a recipe I tend to go away from, rain affected going with a weight of that greatness, but it does lack a little bit of quality, particularly if Funtonic comes out of the race. Again, BP's mentioned Montvito. He is the genuine wet tracker, and he did win first up last preparation over 1,400 metres, 1 trial under his belt on a slow 9 heavy 10. So similar profile here leading in, but again, just not sure where he's at. I thought one horse, New York Jazz, look, he's got the fitness levels behind him. We know he's been a horse that's been up, and
I was going to say, he's not going around again, is he?
Yeah, this is his third run in 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's the Shelby 66 of New Zealand racing.
There's no lack of fitness there, and I just wouldn't mind Jasmine just putting this horse forward. Sometimes this preparation, he's just been in no man's land. I just feel with that fitness edge that he's gone on a lot of his rivals. Yes, he ticks a wet track box. He's up to open class grade. We've seen that throughout his career. I reckon the way the track may be happening might be a little bit tough to make genuine ground on those sticky track conditions. So a horse that's fit, over some of the key rivals. I just wouldn't mind Jasmine just taking this horse forward, and doesn't have to lead, but maybe in the first 2 or 3 and running over the 1400. But yeah, sticky race, very sticky. But overall question around 2 Illicit, I'm slowly warming to her, because if she starts, I think the connections will be happy where the track conditions sit. And she just might just have that class edge because, as you mentioned, a rating of 104. The next best is around about 90, and that's Raposa Repeater, and then it's a glorified benchmark rating 85.
We've mentioned about 6 here, Paul. You may as well have your 2 cents.
Let's have a 7th then. Lily Dior.
Yeah, a bit of money for it.
Another one who want the cut out of the track. I know it was an underwhelming run in the Waikato Cup, but a nice trial since then. And only 54 kilos. I do give her a bit of a chance. So at $10 at the moment, Lily Dior. But I agree with Steve. If 2 Illicit does start, wow. I'll have a bit of the 550. Well, if Fun Tonic doesn't start, obviously the 550 disappears.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, even with the 62 kilos, she had a couple of super runs in the Zabeel.
Yeah.
And was it the Thorndon? Class, get you through a lot of times.
Well, she has won first up on a slow 9 at Ellerslie back in 2020 from memory when carrying 59 kegs off the top of my head. So she's won first up in a similar profile. It might be a little bit heavier, a little bit deeper tomorrow, and she's got to carry 62. But she's not the worst first up in previous campaigns.
Yeah, okay. BP, surmise the 6th, a very tricky one by the sound of things.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because the boys have said it there. She's the class act, and look, your 550 now could be a great price. And then again, Fun Tonic, he is the horse on the way up, and look, he has a runner undoubtedly is untapped. He really is, isn't he? And look, it would have been interesting if this race was on a dry track, but anyway, not to be. Look. I'm not sure. Summer passage each way, I think, is maybe the way to go. But just when you're not 100% sure on what runners are going and how the track is going to be. I mean, this race is at 3:15 in the afternoon. Is it drying out by then? Have they had more rain by then? We're a heavy 10 by Friday morning. So, yeah, it's just difficult to have a bet right now on the race. Certainly as we start getting closer and we can get more of an idea and we'll know who's running. That'll help clear the picture up a touch. But yeah, I agree with what Steve's saying about New York Jazz. I mean, New York Jazz and Summer Passes are almost in the same on the same page, aren't they? Because they've got runs on the board as opposed to say Mont Ventoux, who doesn't. But New York Jazz is a horse who you can get through track conditions and he just keeps on running. So yeah, he could be a little each way at the $8 as well. But yeah, look, at this stage, keeping away and wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, keeping the powder dry at this point, waiting to see. Paul, we haven't even mentioned Naval Fleet first up, and I think it's second favourite. Have you got any time for Naval Fleet?
Only has 52 kilos to carry, so definitely in there. And that win, when was it? She just went whoosh at the 100 metre. I'm just trying to...
Alpuni. Got a fantastic record, Alpuni, this horse. Really does spike in performances. It might come up a bit too soon to find a race next week on the Premier Day, but she strikes Alpuni throughout this campaign. She kind of excels.
Yeah, okay. The Alpuni specialist. Okay, you're very good.
So Steve's got her backing up next week?
Yeah, well, why not?
Nice.
Maybe not, but there's plenty of meetings at Alpuni in the next few months.
Yeah, okay. Are we going to have a bet in the race? What are you thinking, Paul?
2 Illicit on top, but I'll have a little each way go on Lily Door as well.
Okay. Tricky race. No more thoughts there, Steve. I wouldn't have thought. We've probably surmised it as best we can. The 6th on the card. Very tricky race.